President Biden has the milestone legislative victory he desperately wanted and needed heading into November's midterms. And naturally, it didn't come easy. Fate today, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tiebreaker, Democrats passed the president's economic agenda that had been left for dead. It's a mix of climate change spending, lowered health care costs, and raised corporate taxes.
The president acknowledged that this bill required compromises, but it includes some of his top policy goals. The legislation now heads to the U.S. House for a vote there, expected later this week. Senate.
I think it was a historic vote.
It's an Inflation Increase Act.
But the tax provision in the legislation, a 15% minimum tax on large companies.
And I encourage my colleagues to support this amendment and help ensure that our nation's small and medium-sized businesses aren't hit with a misguided and entirely inappropriate $35 billion tax hike.
Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema once again forced a deal with Senate Democrats to move forward. The last-minute drama followed a vote-a-rama on dozens of other amendments.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham blasted the legislation, saying it will hurt Americans already coping with sky-high inflation.
So you're the same people that told us if we passed American Rescue Plan, all would be well. We're at 9.1% inflation. You're increasing gas taxes. Now you want to expand Medicare. This is going to hurt the American people. Stop the madness.
President Harris was in the chamber casting that deciding vote, 50 Democrats voting for, 50 Republicans voting against. After the vote, Harris called it a great day. President Biden praising Democrats. The scaled-down version of his original Build Back Better plan extends health benefits for seniors and raises the corporate tax rate. It includes the largest federal investment ever.
Well, yay. The Republicans have finally done it. They finally failed to stop something that is good for the country. Hats off to the Democrats. Hats off to Joe Biden, because this bill, regardless of whether some people want to admit it, is just a scaled-down version of his Build Back Better has been dismissed. So, his campaign budget, that was the major point of what Biden didn't like. And it finally came through a year and some months later. Or almost 2 years later. The thing is, and I'm not a Joe Biden fan, but if you follow the situation closely, not taking anything away from the impact that this great bill is going to have on the American public, the Democratic Party itself is not giving Joe Biden the credit he deserves. And there's a purpose behind that. Because they don't want Joe to throw his hat into the ring for 2024. And I can't say that I blame him. But if you don't believe that this is happening, follow along. And I'll show you how the Democratic Party has put into effect a large portion of the Build Back Better plan. Well, actually, money-wise, a small portion, but it is big in compared to the standard that has been set. They have raised the bar, especially on climate change. But let me show you how Democrats are maneuvering to perhaps build their own stock for the 2024 presidential election, while perhaps, maybe pulling the Democratic Party along in the process, and as a fallout, doing some good for the United States of America.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify.
The promises, the pledges, the things to make a difference.
I'm prepared to expand home health care. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in this country. You got elderly people and disabled people who would like to stay at home or forced into nursing homes. He's going to have to tell the people of West Virginia why he doesn't want to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and eyeglasses. I've been to West Virginia a number of times, and it's a great state, beautiful people, but it is a state that is struggling.
Bernie's talking about none other than Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia, who, along with Senator Kyrsten Sinema from Arizona, originally blocked the Biden Build Back Better plan. But it seems that now they have both accepted it to some extent, as long as the American citizens, the Democrats of record and the Democrats that may be, know that they had an instrumental hand in making it what it is today.
But it's not a done deal yet. Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema has been standing previously against tax increases of any kind. Do you know where she stands on this bill?
I really don't. You know, she's a dear friend of mine, and we work very close together. She has an awful lot in this bill.
You didn't bring her in on the decision.
I didn't bring anybody in because I didn't want anyone to be disappointed again. She has a tremendous input in this piece of legislation. This is things that everyone has worked on over the last 8 months or more. And she basically insisted that no taxing input in this piece of legislation. This is things that everyone has worked on over the last 8 months or more. And she basically insisted that no tax increases. We've done that. She was also very instrumental in making sure that we had drug prices that Medicare could compete.
I believe she should, yes. Only because if that's going to help the economy, you know, I'm all for it, because this inflation is pretty outrageous right now, and if they can do something to curb that somehow, then I'm all for it.
No way, no way, no way. I'd say some more words, but I want to keep it clean. No, it's inflation. Look at inflation. It's going to be worse for inflation right now. And you're going to tax. They say it's no tax, but everybody knows it's going to tax, especially people under 400,000 who make less than 400,000. And now it's just awful. And I hope she doesn't cave. I really do. I like her, even though I'm a conservative. I really like her, but I hope she doesn't.
Well, like we said, yes, the Democrats did a good thing. But it looks like that there is a certain lack of a certain person's name as all the, backslapping occurs. And that would be Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, and I guess the de facto head of the Democratic Party. Meanwhile, back at the farm, back at the ranch, other names are being dropped in connection with this at every possible turn, and that would be Manchin and Sinema. Now, the question at Uncle Ricky's house is always why, and that's on either side, Republican or Democrat, and to be honest, I don't trust either one of them motherfuckers, but that's just me. But the thing is, we all know, everybody accepts the fact that this is a scaled down version of Biden's Build Back Better agenda. Why can't they let his name stay on it? I mean, they stuck Obamacare on the healthcare plan. And actually, Mitt Romney was the first one that came up with that shit. Obama just took it and revved up a little bit and said, yo, look at me. But all that being aside, Biden's name is definitely not being bandied about with vigor in this celebration. Now, like I said, the question at Uncle Ricky's house is always why. Well, my person in the middle opinion, even though it might be slightly influenced by indulgence in marijuana, I think Manchin and Sinema set themselves up as a package deal to run for the presidency in 2024. Now, we already know that we hate both of them, but it's not the way our politics have gotten on both sides of the fence. The ruling juntas on each side, the DNC and the RNC, they don't listen to their followers anyway. All they do is learn enough to make talking points and throw red meat to push their agendas through. Think about it. I don't want to see either one of them in the White House, but you got to think about this. By 2024, with everything that is going on, the Republican Party is going to be fractured because of the January 6th scandal. Even though they love the madness, they still, outside of the base that follows idiots like Green and Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, the average Republican, even though they're scared to admit it, they like democracy. They like thinking that their vote has weight. These people are going to be looking for an alternative. What if Manchin and Sinema collected people like Cheney and formed a third party? There's disenfranchised Democrats too that lean more to the right, that are looking for a place to go. They don't want to call themselves Democrats, and these other people can't call themselves Republicans. Third party. Now that's a bad selection, but think about it. I can see it happening. I'm going to just leave you with that thought in this video to help you along the way. And as always, peace out and God bless from Uncle Ricky's house.
As you know, it's been a long, tough, and winding road. At last, we've arrived, and we are elated. Every member of my caucus is elated about what happened because we've changed the world in a way that you rarely get an opportunity to do that. With the Inflation Reduction Act, this Senate Democratic majority has achieved what countless others have come to Washington promising to do, but ultimately failed to deliver. And I am really confident that the Inflation Reduction Act will endure as one of the defining feats of the 21st century.